Today I'm going to do a tier list of all of the Disneyland Paris attractions. I went to Disneyland Paris 4 months ago. I'm planning to go again at some point soon. I didn't manage to get on every single ride, and there's a few big rides that I didn't even go on as well, which is a shame, and I'll let you know those throughout the video. I'm not going to spoil it right now. But for those rides, I'll predict where I think they'll be, and there's 5 categories. We got magical, we got amazing, we got good, we got needs work, which basically means it's decent, it should stay, but maybe they can update it a bit, give it a bit of a renovation. And then there's get rid. Get rid is like, okay, let's scrap this ride, make space for something brand new. Maybe a Beauty and the Beast ride, which would be freaking sick, to be honest. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this. And we're starting off with Le Passage Enchanté d'Aladdin. I completely screwed up the whole French part of that. But my prediction, well, I did go on this actually. It's actually in my vlog as well, if you want to check out my vlog after this video. I'm putting this, it's a very nice idea, and it's between good or needs work. And I think I'm going to put it in needs work. It's nice, but it's not something you're going to remember much. It's not going to be like, it's not going to make your experience at Disneyland magical. Like, it's cool, but there could be some things they can add to that to make it even more better. Autopia, I'm putting it in get rid. If you look at the map of Disneyland, you see how much space this thing takes up for what you get when you ride it. It's not worth it. There's so many other things you could actually put in Disneyland instead of Autopia. Yeah, I was not a fan. It also could have been because when I was riding it, it was raining, so I was getting completely wet. This is basically the Snow White dark ride. I'm gonna put this in, you know what, I'm gonna put it in needs work. But I'm gonna put it above the Aladdin, if I can. Well, there we go. Like I said, it's a very nice ride, but it's just a very dated ride. Just like, well, Peter Pan is a bit less dated because you're actually flying in the flying pirate ship. With the Snow White ride, I feel like, I don't know, I just think they could do something to that ride to make it more magical. But then again, Snow White the film is very dated as well, so I don't really know how you could really put that in needs work. So I'm just going to put that in good, actually. I'm going to keep it in good because Snow White the film was made in like the early 1900s. So my next one is Big Thunder Mountain. This is a big staple of Disneyland, and to be honest, I'm going to put it in amazing. This is an incredible ride. I love the fact that you go on it, you go underneath the River Lake thing, you're in complete darkness for what it feels like forever, but it's probably like 20 seconds, to be honest. And then you come up, you're on an island, which is the island just made for the roller coaster. You go around. It's not a comfortable ride, I'll give you that. It's definitely not a comfortable ride. It's very jolty. It's not smooth. That's what gives you that adrenaline rush as well. The fact that it's that jolty, and it's just like a runaway train, basically. And yeah, I'll put it in amazing. Moving on to Buzz Lightyear Space Blast. I'm going to put it in good. I enjoyed it more than Snow White. Yeah, I'll put it in good. It's decent. I went on it literally at the end of the day, so I didn't even have to line up for it as well. I think it's quite new. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure. But if it's not new, then they've done a very good job of keeping it in very good nick. Le Carrousel de Lancelot. I did not go on this at all. I'm not 100% if it's good or not. But I'm just gonna put it in good. It's nice to look at walking past. Moving on to Cars Quart Rogues Rally? I think it's Rogues Rally or Ruse Rally. I'm going to put this in good as well. If you've been on this ride, you know how it can kind of mess with your mind a bit because you're going around in circles, but then there's also 2 other circles of cars as well, and then you end up joining the other circle. And it's quite hard to explain, but if you've been on it, you know what I mean. And literally the cars come within like that close of each other whilst you're spinning around. So literally you have to keep your limbs inside. else. You're going to lose a limb. It's very decently made. Moving on to Casey Jr. Le Petit Train. The very small train that you ride, which is actually terrible compared to Big Thunder Mountain. I was a bit annoyed because it said 5 minutes wait time when I got there, and it was actually 15 minutes. So that was one of the only ones where it actually underestimated the time for me instead of overestimating the time of the wait. I'm going to put that in. Needs work. But that could also just be because I'm an adult riding this train. I mean, it just wasn't that great. You go quite slow. You go around this castle. It's like small castle. I mean, that's quite cool. You get to see the people in the boat down below you. That's quite cool. I got to sit at the front as well, so maybe that's even the best spot. But I mean, it was okay. Nothing special though. But like I said, that could also be because I went on Big Thunder Mountain before I went on the Casey Jr. train. So that could have been why. But I'm going to put it in needs work because I think, I don't know, maybe just include like a water feature where you get splashed by the water as you go past. Okay, moving on. Dumbo the Flying Elephant. I didn't go on this ride. I did want to go on this ride though, but I didn't go on this ride. But I think it looks half decent, to be honest. And I'm going to put it here in good. Yeah, it looks half decent. Moving up, Hyperspace Mountain. I'm going to put it below Big Thunder Mountain. But Hyperspace Mountain, Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain, big staple of Disneyland. I lined up for this as well, and then I was literally in the next group to go on, and then for some reason something happened to Hyperspace Mountain and they closed it down. But luckily I got fast pass tickets, so I got to go on it later on in the day, but that was a bit annoying. I didn't ever go on Space Mountain because this past time I went was my very first time going to Disneyland. But yeah, decent ride. Indiana Jones. I really enjoyed this ride. I got to say that. I did really enjoy this ride. But then I also think they could do so much stuff to that ride to make it better. So I'm going to put it in needs work. It is good though. It's a very fun ride to go on. And I like the quick loop that you do as well. But there's so much stuff that can be done to that ride. It just feels like it's just up out of the way and they made it and now they just don't really care about it. The wait line is so cool. Like there's so many little props and stuff that you see as you walk around to get onto the ride. The ride, there's nothing really special there, to be honest, for me anyway. So I think they could add some props or more sound effects, or maybe like a big boulder somewhere that comes down and doesn't actually hit you, but it makes you think it's going to hit you. Something like that. Anyway, moving on. It's a Small World. It was under renovation when I was there, so I never actually got to go on it. But when it comes back, I feel like it's going to be... I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to put it in amazing. Labyrinth de Alice. Alice's Labyrinth. Decent. It's a very good ride. It's not even a ride. I don't even know why I called it a ride. It's not a ride. It's a labyrinth. It's very big. It's very annoying if you want to try and get out of it. If you want to experience the whole thing and then you want to try and get out of it at the end, it's very annoying. Because there's a point halfway through you could choose to leave. But if you choose to go on and go to the Queen of Hearts' castle, then it's very annoying to try and get out of the labyrinth after that. And the Queen of Hearts' castle is very busy. But Disneyland is very busy in general. I'm going to put this here. Crush's Coaster. It's not an overly long ride. And it's not as dark as I thought it would be as well when I was on it. You could actually see a lot of the things that were happening or that were going to happen to you. But I really enjoyed it. I got to say, I really enjoyed it. And I'm putting that in amazing. Orbitron. I didn't get to go on this one as well. This is another one I didn't get to go on. But I think I'm going to put that in needs work as well. I know you can control whether you go up or down, which is quite cool. I like the fact that you can be in control of that. But I feel like there's something they could do to that ride. I'm not quite sure, but I feel like there's something they could do to make it stand out even more and make it special. Peter Pan's Flight, probably the most popular ride in Disneyland. And I'm going to put this here, just above Dumbo the Flying Elephant. I think it's okay. Like I said earlier, you're in the flying ship and that's very cool. But the animatronics aren't great. They're really not great, actually. They do need work. the animatronics in there. But like with Snow White, Peter Pan is also a very old movie. But then still, I feel like you can make the animatronics look like the old movie and make them flow a bit more naturally instead of them looking like they do this all the time, looking like they're robots. Anyway, moving on to Phantom Manor. Dun dun dun. And I've only just learned that Phantom Manor and Big Thunder Mountain actually have a storyline that cross paths. I can't remember exactly how they cross paths now. I heard about it the other day and I was like, oh, that's actually really cool, considering the fact they're in the same world in Frontierland. So I'm going to put Phantom Manor in. Do you know what? It is good. It's very good. And they've made it look so cool from the outside as well. When you look at it and it's just there, looks like it's on top of a hill, and it looks so sick and so scary, especially at night. But even in the daytime, it looks freaky as hell. But the storyline, when you're on the ride, the start of the storyline is great, but then you go onto this little kind of roller coaster. It's not really a roller coaster, but you sit on it and it takes you around, and it just gets a bit The storyline at the start is great, but then I feel like halfway through the ride, as soon as you get on this little, it's not a roller coaster, I'm not going to call it a roller coaster, the little roller coaster thing, I feel like that's when it starts to lose its touch story-wise. And I feel like it's something they could do. So I'm going to put that in needs work, just for that little point. I think they could also, because there's a new Haunted Mansion movie coming this year, if you didn't know that already, I feel like they could maybe revamp Phantom Manor, make it themed towards the Haunted Mansion movie that is coming out this year. That'd be cool. If it has the same story and the same characters, that'd be very cool. Anyway, moving on to Pinocchio. Similar to Snow White and similar to Peter Pan. Very old movie, but it's a very similar concept. And I'm going to put it just below. Oh, just above Snow White. Just above. They're very similar though, in the same league. Pirates of the Caribbean is another staple. And I'm going to put it here. Decent. Very decent ride. Oh, Ratatouille. Come on. Come on. This is just an incredible ride. I can't say anything bad about it. I can't. I have to put it above Big Thunder Mountain. It's so good. When you experience it for the first time, it's just so good and incredible. I don't want to ruin it for anyone that hasn't ridden it, but if you know you're not going to go to Disneyland ever, just type in Ratatouille Disneyland ride and just watch it. I know it's not going to be nowhere near the same experience, but still, it's so good. RC Racer. I'm going to put it here, right at the top of good. I mean, this is the very first ride I ever went on at Disneyland. Even though it's Walt Disney Studios. They're right next to each other. The very first ride I ever went on. It's very short, but it's very enjoyable at the same time. Very enjoyable, and it does sketch you out as soon as you go right to the top and you're looking over. The Robinson Treehouse, I didn't get to go on this again, so I can't actually say what it's like, but I feel like they should revamp it and just make it Tarzan. So I'm just going to put that in. Needs work. And make it Tarzan. Just like in America. Star Tours. I'm going to put that in freaking get rid, because I freaking hated this. My bag got stuck under the seat. So everyone was leaving and my bag was stuck. The whole show is in freaking French. It's all in French. There's no English translation at all. Or unless there is in other ones, but mine was all French, and that really annoyed me. The experience was half decent. You got to feel the G-force and stuff, but I didn't understand the story because it was all freaking French. Moving on. Get rid, or give me a bloody English translation. next time. Ugh, I was so disappointed in that. The flying carpets of Aladdin. I am going to put this in needs work. Actually, it does need a lot of work, to be honest. Half the carpets on that ride were dying. Like, there were little buttons and stuff on all the carpets, and half of them were like ripped off. It needs a revamp, and it needs it quick. It's disappointing. Mad Hatter's teacup. I didn't get to go on this either. I didn't get to go on this. So I'm just going to put it in good, because I think it's just, you know, typical teacups rides that we've all been on. Decent. Toy Soldier parachute jump. I, again, didn't get to go on this. I didn't get to go on this. I was very sad about this as well. Definitely go on this next time, though. Definitely. And I'm going to put this in towards the high area of good. Just under RC Racer. What have we got next? Oh, the Tower of Terror. Sorry, guys. I didn't go on this either. And I'm disgraced at myself, the fact that I didn't go on this. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to put it in amazing, because I think it is freaking amazing. I think this ride is going to be so good when I go on it. I think it's going to be great. I'm shooting for the stars here. I'm going to put it above Big Thunder Mountain. I think the aesthetic of the outside of the ride, the fact that it looks like a hotel, broken down hotel. Next time I go, I'm going on it. I'm going on it. Even if no one wants to go on it with me, I'm going on it alone. Definitely. Slinky Dog Zigzag Spin. The one in America, so much better. I've seen it as a roller coaster in America on YouTube, and it's so much better. It poops all over this ride, all over it. So I'm putting this in needs work above the Robinson Treehouse. Make it into a freaking roller coaster like in America. Go on, just make it go around the whole of freaking Toy Story Land. That'd be so freaking sick. So sick. Anyway, moving on. We've got the Thunder Mesa boat, which is also the Titanic lady boat. I forgot her name. I'm going to put it in. I think it's going to be good. I didn't get to go on it, but I think it's going to be good. I just need to choose which one I'm going to put in Magical. One space for Magical. Which one is going to go in Magical? I think I'm going to put Ratatouille in Magical. Yeah, you thought I was going to put Crush's Coaster, but Ratatouille is just so freaking good. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, my friends. Farewell.